Stop scrolling. What if I told you a 1976 bicentennial dollar, the same coin millions of Americans spent like loose change, could be worth thousands or even life-changing money today? In this video, I'm revealing the top 3 most valuable 1976 bicentennial dollars ever discovered. Coins so rare they shocked the coin world. Check your change carefully, because one of these could be hiding in your pocket right now. What if I told you the chunky dollar coin hiding in a drawer, a cigar box, or an old coin album could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even life-changing money? In the next few minutes, you're going to see why the 1976 Eisenhower dollar is not just a forgotten coin, but a hidden treasure that has shocked collectors and shattered auction records. Most people think the 1976 Eisenhower dollar is common. They remember it as that big, heavy coin from the Bicentennial, the one celebrating 200 years of American independence. But here's the mystery that still keeps experts awake at night. Not all 1976 Eisenhower dollars are the same, and some were never supposed to exist the way they do. This coin was struck during one of the most chaotic and historic moments in U.S. mint history. The nation was celebrating its bicentennial, demand for commemorative coins exploded, and mints in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco were pushed to the limit. When pressure rises at the mint, mistakes happen, and those mistakes are where big money is born. Now let's reset your attention with a shocking truth. Some 1976 Eisenhower dollars have sold for more than $25,000. And that's not hype, that's real auction money. In fact, a 1976 Eisenhower dollar struck in 40% silver, graded MS 69, sold for over $19,000 at auction. One coin, one moment. Life-changing value. Here's where it gets even more exciting. The 1976 Eisenhower dollar does not always show the date, 1976. Instead, many say 1776 to 1976. That dual date alone doesn't make it rare, but what comes next absolutely does. First, you must check the mint mark. No mint mark means Philadelphia. A D means Denver. An S means San Francisco, and that's where the real hidden treasure often begins. San Francisco struck both proof coins and special 40% silver versions. Many people have no idea which one they have. Now check the color and weight. A silver Eisenhower dollar has a brighter, softer glow and weighs about 24.6 grams. A clad version weighs closer to 22.7 grams. That tiny difference has meant the difference between $5 and thousands of dollars for collectors who knew what to look for. Now let me drop another bombshell. Some 1976 Eisenhower dollars were struck with dramatic double die errors. Look closely at the lettering on Liberty, the date, and the moon on the reverse. Doubling here isn't damage, it's a mint error. These double die varieties have sold for $3,000 to over $10,000, depending on condition. Big money for a coin most people ignore. And then there are off-metal strikes. Yes, real 1976 Eisenhower dollars accidentally struck on the wrong planchets. Some were struck on silver planchets when they shouldn't have been. Others show missing clad layers, exposing a copper core. These errors are rare, shocking, and incredibly valuable, often selling for $5,000 to $15,000 at auction. Here's another attention reset. Remirers. Look at the edge of your coin. A normal clad dollar has a visible copper stripe, but some rare examples have incomplete reeds, smooth edges, or partial collars. These subtle rim details have turned ordinary-looking coins into hidden treasures worth thousands. Now let's talk about condition, because condition is where life-changing value really appears. A worn 1976 Eisenhower dollar might be worth face value or a small premium, but an uncirculated example, especially graded MS 67 or higher, can explode in value. One 1976 D Eisenhower dollar graded MS 67 sold for over $8,000. That's not a typo. Proof coins add another layer of mystery. Proof 1976 Eisenhower dollars with deep cameo contrast, frosted devices, and mirror-like fields are highly sought after. Some deep cameo proofs have crossed the auction block for $6,000 to $12,000. Again, big money hiding in plain sight. And here's something most people don't know. There are rumors, quiet but persistent, of undiscovered transitional errors and experimental strikes from the Bicentennial era still sitting in collections, unrecognized. Experts believe some six-figure Eisenhower dollar errors may still be out there, waiting for the right eyes to spot them. What if I told you the quarter you've ignored for decades, the one hiding in old drawers, change jars, or coin rolls, could be worth thousands or even life-changing money? In the next few minutes, you're going to discover why the 1976 Bicentennial quarter dollar is not just pocket change, but a hidden treasure that has shocked collectors and set auction rooms on fire. Most people think they know this coin. The drummer boy, the dual date, the patriotic design. But here's the mystery almost no one talks about. The bicentennial quarter was struck during one of the most chaotic, experimental, and mistake-filled periods in U.S. mint history. And when chaos meets metal, big money is born. This coin was created to celebrate America's 200th birthday, 1776 to 1976. Demand was massive. Pressure was intense. The U.S. Mint rushed production across Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Millions were struck, but not all were struck correctly. Some were struck wrong, some were struck differently, and some were never supposed to leave the mint at all. And here's your first shocking truth. Certain 1976 bicentennial quarters have sold for over $20,000. One coin, one quarter, life-changing value. Now let's slow down and teach you exactly what to look for, because this is where hidden treasure becomes real. First, check the date. A true bicentennial quarter will show 1776 to 1976. If it doesn't, it's not the right coin. Next, check the mint mark. No mint mark means Philadelphia. A D means Denver. An S means San Francisco, and that single letter can mean the difference between face value and big money. Now reset your attention, because here comes the shocker. San Francisco struck special bicentennial quarters in 40% silver. Many people have absolutely no idea they own silver. These coins are heavier, brighter, and have a softer silver glow. A 1976 S silver quarter in top condition has sold at auction for over $13,000. That's not hype. That's documented auction money. Here's how to tell. Look at the edge. A normal clad quarter shows a copper stripe. A silver quarter does not. That edge alone has turned ordinary finds into life-changing value. Now let's talk errors, because errors are where the real big money lies. One of the most valuable bicentennial quarter errors is the double die obverse. Look closely at Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date. If the letters look doubled, shadowed, or vibrating, you could be holding a coin worth $3,000 to $10,000 depending on condition. And then there are off-center strikes. Bicentennial quarters struck partially off-center, especially with full date visible, have sold for $2,000 to $8,000. The more dramatic the error, the higher the value. Now here's another attention reset that blows collectors' minds. Some bicentennial quarters were struck on the wrong planchets. Yes, wrong metal. There are verified cases of 1976 quarters struck on dime planchets or silver planchets by mistake. These freak accidents have sold for $5,000 to over $15,000 at auction. That's hidden treasure in its purest form. Rim errors are another gold mine. Look for missing reeds, partial collars, or unusually thick rims. These subtle details are often overlooked, but collectors pay big money for them. Some rim error bicentennial quarters have sold for $1,500 to $6,000. Now let's talk condition, because this is where values explode. A circulated bicentennial quarter is common, but an uncirculated coin, especially graded MS, 67 or higher, is a completely different animal. A 1976 D bicentennial quarter graded MS, 68 sold for over $6,000. One grade point can mean thousands of dollars. Proof coins take this even further. Proof bicentennial quarters from San Francisco with deep cameo contrast, frosted designs, and mirror-like fields are highly sought after. Some deep cameo proofs have crossed the auction block for $7,000 to $12,000. Again, big money hiding in plain sight. And here's the part that gives collectors chills. Experts believe there are still undiscovered high-grade errors and transitional varieties from the bicentennial era sitting in collections, mislabeled, ungraded, or completely ignored. That means the next record-breaking quarter may already exist, and the owner doesn't even know it yet. What if I told you the half dollar you've seen 1,000 times, the one hiding in old envelopes, dresser drawers, or forgotten coin rolls, could be worth thousands of dollars, and in rare cases, truly life-changing money? Stay with me, because the 1976 Kennedy half dollar is not just a commemorative coin. It's a hidden treasure with a shocking past and big money potential. Most people think the 1976 Kennedy half dollar is ordinary. It looks familiar. It feels heavy. It says 1776 to 1976 and reminds us of America's bicentennial celebration. But here's the mystery that most collectors never hear about. This coin was born during a rushed, experimental, high-pressure moment at the U.S. Mint, and that's exactly when rare mistakes slip through. The United States was celebrating 200 years of independence. Demand for bicentennial coins exploded overnight. Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco were pushed to produce massive quantities, fast. And when speed meets metal, history gets messy. Coins were struck in multiple compositions, with experimental dies, and under conditions that produced some of the most valuable modern errors ever found. Now let me reset your attention with a shocking truth. Some 1976 Kennedy half dollars have sold for over $20,000 at auction. One coin, 50 cents face value. Big money. Here's how you start identifying if you're holding a hidden treasure. First, check the date. A true bicentennial Kennedy half dollar will read 1776 to 1976. No other date matters here. Next, look just below Kennedy's neck for the mint mark. No mint mark means Philadelphia. A D means Denver. An S means San Francisco, and that single letter can change everything. Now here's where the story gets exciting. San Francisco struck special 40% silver Kennedy half dollars for collectors. Many people inherited these coins and have no idea they're silver. A silver bicentennial half dollar weighs more, sounds different when gently tapped, and has a brighter, softer shine. Look at the edge. A regular clad coin shows a copper stripe. A silver coin does not. That edge alone has turned ordinary finds into life-changing value. And now the bombshell. A 1976 S silver Kennedy half dollar graded MS 69 sold for over $19,000 at auction. That's not hype. That's real money paid by real collectors. One grade difference can mean thousands of dollars. But silver alone isn't where the biggest surprises stop. Let's talk errors, because errors are where big money truly lives. One of the most valuable varieties is the double die obverse. Look closely at Liberty, In God We Trust, and Kennedy's profile. If the letters appear doubled or slightly shadowed, values can range from $2,000 to over $8,000 depending on condition. Now reset your focus, because here comes another shock. Off-center strikes. Bicentennial Kennedy have struck off-center, with the full date visible, have sold for $3,000 to $10,000. The more dramatic the error, the higher the price collectors are willing to pay. And then there are wrong planchet errors. Yes, real 1976 Kennedy half dollars exist that were accidentally struck on planchets meant for other coins. These rare mint mistakes have sold for $5,000 to $15,000 at auction. That's the definition of hidden treasure. Rim errors are another overlooked gold mine. Look for missing reeds, partial collars, or unusually thick rims. These details are easy to miss, but collectors hunt them aggressively. Some rim error bicentennial halves have sold for $1,500 to $6,000. Now let's talk proof coins. Proof 1976 S Kennedy half dollars with deep cameo contrast, frosted designs, and mirror-like fields are highly prized. High-grade, deep cameo proofs have sold for $6,000 to $12,000. Again, big money hiding in plain sight. Condition is everything. A worn bicentennial half is common, but an uncirculated coin graded MS 67, MS 68, or higher is a completely different story. 1976 D Kennedy half dollar graded MS 68 sold for over $7,000. That's the power of condition. And here's the part that sends chills through the collecting world. Experts believe undiscovered high-grade errors and transitional varieties from the bicentennial era are still sitting in collections today, ungraded, mislabeled, or ignored. That means the next record-setting Kennedy half dollar could already exist, and the owner has no idea. Imagine that moment. You flip a coin. Your heart starts racing. You realize you're holding something rare, something historic, something with life-changing value. So right now, check your coins. Look at the date, the mint mark, the edge, the color, the rim, the details. Because the 1976 Kennedy half dollar is no longer just a symbol of history. It's a modern treasure hunt filled with big money, hidden treasure, and unforgettable discoveries.